What is up, Aries? Kapualani here with your girl and her moon full moon forecast for the month of April. So let's get this flowing and see what's in store, shall we? Okay, Aries, let's get to the heart of the matter. Message from the universe, boom, the world. Things are really, sorry, I didn't mean to kind of chuckle there before I even got to the point, to the message, but literally busting out wide open was this sensation that I got here. So don't be overwhelmed. Okay, Aries, there are going to be, I'm getting this message as you have been doing your due diligence. There's been things that have been tying up and you've been really getting to that, really getting excited to jump into the new cycle, jump into the new cycles, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. There's so much ahead. Where do I turn that focus, that attention? It's okay. Let's breathe, get centered, and realize just one step at a time. That being said, okay, let's see maybe what's coming to surface that might be in the underbelly of things. Choices. Yep. Which prioritizing is going to be a big deal for you this month, Aries. And because of these very sort of more physical, like the bigger picture and then the step-by-step approach of things, okay? Center your focus and your perception. It's not just, step by step, but really engage the process, engage your life experience, Aries, because it's what will inevitably help to validate, to reaffirm those steps that you're taking so that as you're taking them, you can really fully feel like, okay, you're not just, okay, step by step, like this robotic process, right? But it's you're actually living and breathing and experiencing all of what life has to offer, all of what you are working toward. You're not simply like getting tasks checked off a list, but it's about really being in the experience of it, Aries. So let's just kind of see, okay, a little bit of what's coming up to release the star. Okay. Anywhere that you may have had doubts, fears about those particular long-term goals, visions, or dreams, okay? That's where step by step, baby, step by step, there's still this energy and presence of liftoff. There's still this energy and presence of lightening things up. And so enjoy, right? Enjoy the process, but also make it real. And that's where it's, let's not get too caught up, right? In like kind of what I do, but start to just trust. And again, when you are allowing yourself to fully engage the process, that's where you can build confidence. And that's where, again, those long-term goals and dreams and things, they're not so daunting and they don't just seem like this, kind of bubble up in the air that's like, oh, okay, one day, but it doesn't really happen. This is where you can actually start to feel that rubber hit the pavement, So now let's see what's getting ready to evolve and just some advice to kind of work with these energies. Yeah, you've got some big heavy hitter, but in a beautiful way here, in this energy of death, definitely letting go, allowing yourself a space of rest, balance, and the physicality of it, looking at the bigger picture, getting caught up with how far you've come, in the grand scheme of things. When you look at, let's say if you had some goals or whatnot a year ago, 2 years ago, think back on where you were and look at where you are, right? It's kind of like, whoa, different sort of perspective, and hence this bridge of transition that we see here with death. So I do feel this encouraging nod to take a pause, take a moment to self-care, whatever the case may be, where you have been sort of extending yourself, where you've been really putting out a lot of energy and effort just take that moment to step back and don't hesitate to adjust. Okay, take that moment to adjust, take that moment to appreciate the slowdown and or put the brakes on as you see fit. Okay, so all that being said, let's see, okay, how we can again just embody things, what's coming in to influence. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even finish saying it. Spirit's like, just flip the card, Kapualani. The sun, look at this. Okay, you're in good hands. Aries, is all I can say. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the changes. Enjoy, again, where you've completed cycles, where like the little tedious things that all add up, right? Like, for example, people don't realize how much work it takes, how much back work it takes when you finally present a finished product, or even like for yourself in terms of the footwork and studying and all of those kinds of skills and things that we gain along the way. So this is where it's saying enjoy yourself. Come out of that hibernation kind of, being in the work mode with your head down and kind of digging into the ground and getting things done, and just take a look at the results, take a look at what you have manifested, and enjoy, Aries. I mean, this is your time to shine. This is your time to absorb. Ask yourself what you're ready to receive in terms of that just joy, relaxation, whatever the case may be. Maybe I can imagine you're like, relaxation for me is woohoo. So have a beautiful and blessed full moon, Aries, and don't hesitate. You know where to go. Check us out, girlandmoon.com. And while this is your sun sign, also check out your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra insight. So, till next time. Taurus, happy full moon this month of April. This is Kapualani here, as you know, with Girl and Her Moon. Got this April full moon forecast in store. Okay, Taurus. First up, what's coming through? Ace of Swords. Okay, so this full moon, I'm really getting, is going to bring, whatever fogginess or uncertainty you may have felt in like the previous full moon or even this recent new moon, this is where that sort of, I don't want to say deal breaker, but where you may have been like, okay, on the fence about something, this full moon's really going to help to clarify and solidify the decisions, even if it's like, okay, even if you came into those decisions with a little bit of hesitation, again, the full moon's going to help you to clarify and to affirm and to really, one way or another, wherever you were kind of, if you've still kind of been on the fence, you're going to pick that direction, even if it happens to be the opposite of what you thought or what you intended. Okay, so I feel like for you, what I want to say is it's one way or another, because of this Ace of Swords and that, just I feel like it's this ability to just cut off some dead weight, to be honest. I just can feel this energy of that there's a potential for you to have something clarifying and liberating here. Okay, Taurus, so whatever has been on your mind, like, don't hesitate with the energies of the full moon that are urging you forward. Trust those instincts, okay? But make sure that you're just being safe, okay? And loving towards yourself and others. So, okay. Now just kind of like peeling into the underbelly, maybe where those energies, right? Where we were not feeling so decisive. Yeah, the future. There's these aspects of being stuck in the past or looking ahead here with this Three of Wands that I'm picking up on. And so I feel like that might be that closing nod where you can feel a sense of, okay, maybe that's why I was lingering. Maybe that's why I was so indecisive, is because there might have been, just how it so happens in the underbelly, in our subconscious self, ourselves, when we struggle and to make kind of peace and resolve things where it's like, oh, if I shoulda, woulda, coulda, then, and you know, what life is ahead of me, what options are ahead of me now, you know. And this is where, again, I'm gonna lean toward and really sort of encourage that healing energy one way or another of really making that decision, right? For you, Taurus, to, it's not like, oh yeah, look on the brighter side, but to decide here and now, you know what, whatever the past was, it's in the past. I still have a window of opportunity to look forward to work with, that's like presenting itself here and now. So what am I going to do with that? That's the point, right, Taurus? Okay. Now, you know, having said that, and look at these beautiful rainbow energies and colors here, let's kind of give a moment of pause and what might help to influence. Yep, detach. Detach and look at things for what they are. Gain a higher perspective. Let yourself, you know, in a positive way, right? We don't want to like detach from that space where we're being kind of cold and leaning into more of that shadow realm, but more of being, you know, looking at the details and, dare I say, the finer print. So if there are contracts or things like that involved, I would say just, you know, make sure that you're going into it well informed is all. Okay, so let's see. Yep. What's getting ready to present itself and what you may be sort of managing, and then how we can maybe make it smooth. Don't hesitate to be more decisive no matter what it is, okay? Don't hesitate, like I said, remove yourself from whatever might be clouding your emotional ability to make it effective. And how shall I put this? Just to make a decision that really, I don't want to just say, you know, is so under this kind of potential of, there's more than uncertainty here, Taurus. I feel that it deals with self-trust and your ability to understand that, hey, you know what? Being assertive here doesn't mean that you're denying yourself future potentials. Okay, I think that's what the deeper message is that I was getting guided towards. So in closing, Taurus, let's bring it home. Yeah, like I was saying, don't get overwhelmed. Make it easy on yourself. Just because you're choosing and you're committing yourself to this thing today, it doesn't mean that the universe won't open other spaces for you to explore, to expand, to experience those other layers. Okay, this is just the beginning, so realize that. Okay, there's going to be space for other opportunities. So pace yourself and, you know, just get started. With all that being said, Taurus, have a blessed and beautiful full moon. And don't hesitate, right? Check us out, girlandmoon.com, to book a session of your own and take a look at your moon and rising signs for a little bit of extra insight. Okay? What is up, Gemini? Kapualani here with your Girl and a Moon full moon forecast for this month of April. So let's see what's flowing ahead. Okay, Gemini, heart of the matter, core. Oh my good Lord, forgive me. The sun shining through. Okay, I like this for you, Gemini. I almost feel like, you know, I'm not trying to say that things have been like dark and dreary or anything like that, but I kind of feel like, you know, maybe it's sort of been the case for most of the collective, but almost like that fogginess, but you know, it's nice to have clarity. So trust that this full moon, I'm hearing these words, it's going to burn off any of those areas where you yourself may have felt a bit foggy or I feel like it's more of that kind of like, you kind of just have a humdrum funkiness or whatever the case may be, just feeling uninspired, unmotivated, whatever the case may be. This full moon is really going to burn off those layers. So just be welcoming to that, okay? And keep in mind all that bright sunshine. Just keep in mind that there may be others around you that can only handle it in certain doses. That's all I say, okay? And if anything, you can kill them with kindness. So, okay, let's get to the underbelly of things, see what might be coming up with that. Oh, like, oh, I love this for you, Gemini, so, so much. A brighter focus and outlook in terms of what's ahead, having a better sense of foundation in terms of, again, remember I was saying, just if you're feeling unmotivated, uncertain, and like, oh, I'm not really sure, this Four of Wands, I really feel like it's going to be very much an encouraging energy. Things are going to be brightening up. Where you may not have known, where to focus or what is my motivation. Like I said, it has a lot to do with motivation and intention and energy levels. And I do get the sense of you finding at least, if not kind of that sync, that rhythm, just finding your rhythm, getting kind of things going up. And, when people decide that, oh, okay, I haven't really been going for my usual walks or working out or whatever the case may be, I feel that sense of connection because we're seeing the fire and the life force and all that stuff coming up. So, okay, let's see what you might be revisiting with that being said. Okay, patience and persistence in terms of self-care. And I was feeling it here almost like there's these moments where we believe that we just have all of this energy, but really it lasts for like 15 minutes. And, you think you can climb the mountain, like, yeah, I'm going to check on this hike. You're like, oh, man, I'm just out. No, I can't handle it. So that's where I was feeling that energy of pacing yourself, okay, Gemini, and really there's this perspective of working with the process, working with your goals, working with this inspiration of a potential, like, not necessarily brand new, but a new sense of, okay, I've got some energy, I've got some, again, that word is kicking in, forgive me, but motivation. So take the time, right? And the lessons that you've learned previously and not burning yourself out and or taking a jump start or whatnot, and just sort of internalize and integrate and just really go inward and say, okay, I know that I feel like I could climb a mountain, but realistically, what can I handle? It's more about that. So exactly, self-love, Ace of Cups is what we want to embrace. Okay, something that we're going to be focusing on that will benefit us here. And look at these beautiful energies, okay? I feel things that are going to be opening up in the free will, the solar plexus, the ability to feel a lot more aligned in terms of your communication and the way that you're able to be present to your own feelings and to your own kind of inner process, if that's the case, So there's definitely a bit more of a restorative energy here, and definitely new cycles, focusing on new cycles, cleansing. Okay, things that are going to be cleansing, things that are going to be healing, and things that are going to be nurturing, supportive, and inspiring in terms of emotional, body, and heart healing awareness. Okay. All right. Last but not least, yep, rest and relaxation. I cannot stress it enough. Like I said, you might think, woohoo, bouncing with energy, but realistically, physically, okay, that's where it's just like, let's just kind of put the brakes on, breathe it in, enjoy the moment, not get caught up and too far ahead of ourselves, and just be here now and really just absorb and allow ourselves to recharge and be present to those opportunities as they unfold step by step, and really just appreciate this shift of clarity, I suppose, like where I said, if it was foggy or murky or a little bit on feeling like on pause, it starts to feel like that new flow coming in. Okay, Gemini, so don't hesitate, reach out, girlundermoon.com to book your own session, and also check out the other signs for your moon and rising, just to get a little bit of deeper insight. And otherwise, have a blessed full moon. Hi, Cancer. Happy full moon. This is Kapualani with your girl and her moon. Full moon forecast for the month of April. So let's see what's in store. Okay, let's see, Cancer. First and foremost, I love this. Solidifying new beginnings. So part of what I'm feeling is it's not just like, okay, where the aces represent new beginnings, but I feel, again, it's a solidification of maybe some steps and things that you have already implemented or things that you had been hoping to implement, Cancer. I get that it's like things are starting to take shape. It's becoming a bit more tactile. It's becoming a bit more like real for you, if that makes sense. You know, like when you start a new job or when you move to a new place or when even just when you book those tickets to go on vacation, but it's like, you know, even you're not quite like there and experiencing it and like, you know, in it until it happens and it's like, oh, okay. And even when you are there, it takes a little bit to really kind of like realize, oh, okay. You know, so the biggest thing is, Cancer, the work that you've done from the inside out, okay, it's very much becoming real for you in the way that this full moon, I think that it's going to start to really encourage the ability to see those results, see how far you've come in a very beautiful way. You know, and I always refer to the Cancer in analogies with the shell, and where you may have felt a little bit vulnerable, like the shell's a little bit soft. Now it's like, yes, I got my tough shell back. I feel like me again. Woohoo! You know, I feel that for you, Cancer. So it's very, very exciting right now. So in sort of the under layers, let's see what's kind of coming up, what's being brought to the surface. Or okay, those details. Look at all of these details. I am feeling presence too, for whatever reason, potential of, I don't know if it's necessarily contracts, because I'm hearing contracts and or where you may have signed new contracts, the offshoot of things. So preparing yourself to not get overwhelmed and not try to take on too much. So being a bit more definitive and a bit more, how shall I put this? Decisive is the word that I'm hearing when it comes to decision making. And in so many ways, don't hesitate to put a limit, I'm just getting, for whatever reason, on how much you're allowing yourself to take on right now. I know that you can do a lot, okay, Cancer, but it's like don't get too lost in the details. Okay, don't get too lost in trying to you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, just every single little like nook and cranny of like the experience. Just let yourself take it all in. Like step back, you know, rather than going into all of the fine lines sometimes, because you already did that. Okay, so that being said, as something to keep in mind and reflect on, right? Yes, enjoying. I feel like this connection so much in terms of solidifying and restoring those feelings of, like I said, from the inside out, house and home, feeling comfortable and feeling like you've got your feet on the ground again. And again, that shell, the protection of the shell, and feeling like you're in a place to be sort of in company for that matter, you know. So taking a look at the bigger picture, taking a look at, again, it's not so much all of the details, but the experience. okay, that these new beginnings are offering you. So that's where it's about, let's kind of look at things from the higher perspective. And I just imagine this as this beautiful waterfall that you can dive into, Cancer. And that's where these seem a little bit dry. What's your wellspring? You know, what is your community connection, or whatever the case may be? It doesn't have to be community, but just for you, where do you source that harm? You know what I mean? That energetic sense of family, of joy, of a shared experience, you know, and like, and just again from the inside out, how you're feeling with your life, with your goals, with yourself from the inside out. Okay, so yes, inside out advice here, okay? Advice and guidance as we work through the full moon. Step by step, take it step by step. Like I said, those details are going to be overwhelmed. So if you can imagine this hermit shell being at the middle, right? It's like, oh gosh, there's a lot to look at. So because you are so inquisitive and so intelligent, you know, just all of those details that you love to kind of look through and shuffle through rather, Cancer. Take that time to just not overwhelm yourself. Like, we've got that hard shell again, but restore and take it step by step. Okay, I just think of with the hermit, it's a slower process, and it's about allowing yourself to just trust your own, not just inner wisdom and experiences and so forth, but also, you know, with that, the whole point is to engage your life as it is, you know, and to experience that sense of fulfillment in all the accomplishments that you have, you know, really driven through, and the successes that you've had. Okay, so vacation time. What does your soul crave? Yep. Grounding, connection, the self-care, prioritizing your self needs. Okay, and especially where, you know, with the Mother of Pentacles, there's the inclination toward responsibility, you know, to where we have this fawn here, innocence. And so we have to see ourselves that way sometimes, and we so often forget that. So that's where, again, you know, just as much as you give, Cancer, and family is like the zenith for you, make sure that you're also allowing yourself to receive in that respect as well. Okay, babe? And so don't hesitate. Check us out. Reach out, girlundermoon.com, to book your own session. And also take a look at your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra insight. And lots of love and good vibes. Till next time, Cancer. Hey Leo, it's Kapualani here with Girl Under Moon, taking a look, at your full moon forecast for this month of April. Let's see what's coming up. Okay, Leo, first and foremost, slow down, take it in. I know, right? Your message, okay, from the universe, the Hangman. It's not just necessarily this aspect of patience, but it's what we're doing when we're in a place or a position of how shall I put this? Indirect action, perhaps. This energy of the Hangman, it really kind of hones in on looking at your experience and circumstances truly from not just the inside out, but where you are in a position to empower yourself, where you're in a position to take action. We're in a position to embody that sense. So there's this energy of contemplation that I'm present to for you, Leo. There's an energy of also self-care. I reference this often when I see this particular hangman because of the wings folded around the back, which to me indicates just protecting oneself, and that indication again of even vulnerability, rest, for that matter. And when I'm even present to the belly aspect of the wings, it's digesting, and again, that perspective of thinking about things and looking at things from a different perspective, giving yourself a chance to break things down, to process things so that you can, when you do kind of emerge and you do have that calling to take action again, the understanding, you can have the understanding, you can kind of come through things again with, like I always said, that different perspective. Okay, so it's taking a moment to, I feel it's to integrate more than anything, the lessons that you have learned. And it's like anything else, and please forgive the analogy, Leo, but when you make a really good soup or stew or sauce, it tastes better right after it's had time to marinate and the flavors had time to merge and marry and that kind of thing. So that's just really to the core of what I'm picking up on here for you, Leo. So underbelly and the reasons, maybe a little bit of perspective with this hangman. Yeah, there is this connection again, I was saying, okay, with justice, karmic law, karmic balance. There are things sometimes that, even as frustrating and it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but there is a truth to divine time and order. There is a truth to, especially where we are calling in that guidance, where we are present to that whole process and so forth, of protection, divine protection, and knowing that as much as maybe we think or we want, and kind of to do this, do that, we're better off like when we're children and the parents say, no, you're not ready for that, no, you're not ready, and like, but I'm gonna, and then what do? You end up hurting yourself just like your parents said. And so there's this bigger sort of element at play here that I'm seeing, Leo, like this sort of divine bubble, I suppose. And that could just simply, if you want to put it into a more individualistic perspective, our own higher selves really coming in and saying, hey, it's not just, are you sure, but let's give ourselves that time again to come into balance and to gain that perspective, so that when we are taking action, we're not just coming from a place of need or a place of fear or a place of, where it's that reaction, but we're able to respond and we're able to see things from clarity. Okay, so that's really more to the core and to the point, and the bigger reasons of this stillness here. Okay, so what can we do? What can benefit us in terms of reflecting upon? Six of Wands. Yeah, I love this merging where it was the bat and then now with the butterfly, again, that shift in a sort of perspective. And I love, again, just the element of something coming into flight. Okay. Part of this, it is a little bit, and remember, Leo, in terms of the pride, the ego check, and not in a negative space, but where we don't want to hurt ourselves, where it's like where we think we can and where we feel, and it's not, again, pride is not necessarily a negative. Sometimes it's like we throw ourselves into harmful or hurtful situations or toxic situations. We really didn't have to. It's like, what are we trying to prove to ourselves? Like, we don't need to hurt ourselves to make a point anymore, and we don't need to put ourselves on the spot necessarily, right? You know what I mean? Especially if that's not something that truly speaks or resonates with you. So more than anything, it's about connecting to your previous successes, Leo, and it's about connecting to things that truly resonate with you, and I feel this connection, this draw with the wings, and really allowing yourself to fly free and to liberate yourselves from I need to see this thick of wands, anything that might be distracting, and maybe overwhelming, I feel, just different ways that we could do things, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda type things. And I don't mean to put that on the Six of Wands necessarily. It's just where my attention and my focus is being drawn. So I get this energy of set yourself free, lighten the load, let yourself also surround yourself more than anything by people, places, and experiences that really give you a sense of, you know, that give and take, and in terms of emotion and energetic exchange, excuse me, is what I mean, you know, where you can celebrate others and be celebrated equally. And I don't mean to use such a big word of celebration, but, you know, again, it's not just being in service for the sake of martyring ourselves, but being of service in a way that also is in balance and in harmony with us, because it's about respecting. Those wings are fragile, and it's not meant to take on like all the load, an actual load, you know what I mean? It's meant to shine as an example. Okay, so let's get some advice, Leo. Yep, don't get yourself overwhelmed, Daughter of Swords. Okay, don't think about it too much, just let yourself fly, experience, check things out. You know, enjoy the process without trying to figure it out. Just, it's about vibing and allowing yourself to maybe even see what is creatively inspiring you at this point on, again, a core level from the inside out. So vacation and maybe something to sort of feed your soul here, the Empress root. Yeah, get inspired, but from more than anything, Leo, this is what you're all about. Come from the heart, and the high heart here, especially with the Empress. And when I say the high heart, it's that consciousness and connecting and knowing, hey, you know what? I do come from the heart. I do give a lot, and it's not, oh, so I need to give back to myself. But it's about attuning our perceptions and saying, you know, in terms of the life's experiences that I've had, lessons learned, the positives and maybe not so positives, you know, I'm a bit more mature now. See yourself, you know, as a, in that more rooted, more mature space, in that the Empress is that energy of co-creation, is that embodiment of abundance. And so what you seek to co-create and manifest, that's where it's saying, see that that's what you are. And again, it's always from the inside out in terms of how we are nurturing and supporting ourselves, and then again taking action, you know, accordingly. So don't hesitate, okay, Leo, to book a session of your own. You know where to go, girlandhermoon.com. And also take a look at your moon and rising signs as well for some deeper insight, whatever speaks to you, okay? And so fly high. Until next time. Virgo, happy full moon. This is Kapualani here with your Girl and Her Moon full moon forecast for this month of April. Okay, Virgo, let's look at the core things this month. Mother of Swords. I'm hearing different perspective and or where you have been feeling a bit conflicted. This is going to be a really good time, this full moon, to gain clarity, honestly, to see things with a bit, you know, because of just Virgo, how attentive you are to details. And I associate Mother of Swords so much with kind of just the details and things and being able to separate yourself. I feel like it's going to be pretty encouraging for you when it comes to not necessarily just decision making, but in looking back at how you've gone about making decisions in the past and now, you know what I mean, with this perspective in terms of, okay, lesson learned, what can I do now? And that's where I mean it benefits you, because it allows you this space to not feel weighed down by maybe mistakes or areas where it's like, ooh, maybe I should, you know what I'm trying to say? It gives a fair space for you to move forward and onward without any kind of feeling of regret or doubt in yourself. So I feel like that's more of the encouraging message here, Virgo, with this Mother of Swords is, you know, if there are areas where you were wondering, this full moon will give you that opportunity to really sort of clarify for yourself, to be fair, you know, just to be fair, because we know how you like your details, as I was saying. So that being said, let's see what is in the underbelly and what's being highlighted, these new beginnings. And part of it is awakening to just being, oh, okay, I see here. They're saying the literalness, the fool, and how I said looking back at certain mistakes and allowing yourself to be indifferent, okay? So understand, in whatever risks you may have taken, and or like, you know, when you try to apply yourself and you don't quite hit the target, when you don't quite hit that mark, and maybe you're like, whoops, that little, I think of the fumble, bringing it into a space and elevating it into this tone of the fool in terms of, you know, let go, let flow, and we all stumble and fall. And the whole point is to just focus on one step at a time, moving forward, not just necessarily how I like to shine a light on joy when I see the fool, but it's about being present to where your opportunities to engage new beginnings might be, and new beginnings that are hopeful, you know. And I think of, again, you with the fool and the sweetness of this little chick here, you know, having those intentions, even of not necessarily that, oh yeah, I'm just kind of like out there and doing a like a YOLO situation or anything, right? But it is more of being fair to yourself and not being hard on yourself, and letting yourself, you know, again, be open and seeing where those more aligned opportunities are for you to experience new beginnings, and where you can be lighter hearted on yourself even, okay, and as well as others. So that being said, as a way to encourage those messages, and maybe something to kind of look at, Ace of Wands, new beginnings, get excited. Where can you empower yourself? Where can you apply that action? Where can we lighten up and maybe not be so removed, so detached? How do you want to feel? What kind of a new beginning do you want to experience here, Virgo? You know, and it's about really opening up to that inner child dynamic in terms of how, with the Fool and the Ace of Wands, it's literally like, you know, where the chick, like I said, fumbles, like bloop bloop. Oh, okay, just gonna keep on going. Just, I don't know, like, okay, something happened. Don't know what it was, but I'm just gonna keep on going my merry way, right? And that's where sometimes, now I'm present to a little bit of a shift in the message. We can really activate those more synchronistic and you know, how shall I put it? Because I kind of already said it with the word synchronistic, but how they say the words like happenstance, I don't know, something like that, where things just come as, it seems like magic is all I'm gonna, that's how I would put it, you know what I mean? Opening up to, yes, we can be real, we can be, you know, level and clear in our thoughts and intelligent, but also be open to the wonder and the magic, okay, from a very balanced place. So how can we do that? What can we sort of look at in terms of integrating these energies? Yeah, simply what it is, that integration, and allowing for the past to be in the past, you know, and allow yourself a space. Look at these beautiful, very much encouraging energies of new beginning, Virgo. It's really nice, and I feel it's very welcoming for you, and it gives you again a place to lighten up in, so many ways, but not in a rush sort of way, in a space that I feel. Because when I'm thinking of death and think of the Virgo energy, because I think of, the soil and how things take time to turn over and to germinate, that's where I feel like, slow and gentle and being mindful to what you need, in terms of honoring this space that there are new beginnings ahead. So, what would you like to manifest and co create with that in mind? This is not a moment of stuckness, okay? Things are not stuck. It's just a moment for you to perhaps gain a little bit of perspective and clarity and open up to those energies. And that being said, how can we encourage those continued steps? The star. Let yourself dream, baby. Let yourself open up to the what ifs, potentials, in the way that really inspires your soul, in a way that, like I said about the magic, what sort of gives you that connection and feeling, the childlike wonder again, and knowing that it's not, we have things on a vision board. It's not necessarily the literalness that we are working to work, you know what I mean? But it's the feeling that it gives us. And so that's where we look to the star as that symbol of motivation and inspiration, things that encourage us and inspire us to step, to trust our steps, things that encourage us and inspire us to, even wherever we may be feeling maybe a bit indifferent or detached. Again, what does that future look like for you that you're wanting to co-create and manifest? Let yourself have that space to realize that new beginnings truly are ahead, and it's just like, be here now. Let yourself go through and flow through. There are some things that are still dissolving out, closing out, so take this time, okay, to maybe reinvigorate that sense of imagination again while things may seem as though they're at a standstill. And so Virgo, don't hesitate. Look us up, girlonhermoon.com, to book your own session, of course. And if it should interest you, also take a look at the other moon and rising signs, or excuse me, other signs for your moon and rising info. Just a little bit of deeper insight. So have a blessed full moon. Take care. Happy full moon, Libra. This is Kapualani with your Girl on Her Moon full moon forecast for April. So let's see what we've got. Okay. Okay, Libra, let's see what's coming up. Center of focus, the Empress. Okay, so this full moon, I really want to say it's going to emphasize all of that. And forgive the word, but I'm just present to this energy of just lushness. Okay, gentleness is another word that's coming to mind here. And the ability to really embrace those aspects of yourself, Libra, that vibe where those Empress energies incline, and where the Empress resonates, starting from the inside out. I'm hearing self-appreciation, and not just self-care, but seeing how you are a powerful figure of co-creation, of manifestation. The Empress epitomizes abundance and prosperity, epitomizes wealth, simply in being whom and what the Empress is. Okay, just as simply as we embrace sorry, Libra, as we embrace and embody ourselves from the inside out, rooting to the core, and thereby, becoming and really seeing ourselves as that core foundation to our own experiences, right? that's where we're able to really tap into that essence of the Empress. So rooting into those heart aligned, soul aligned experiences from the inside out. Okay, so with that being said, what's this energy of the Empress going to be highlighting? What are we going to be working with? This Father of Cups. The Father of Cups, okay. Excuse me. Where I kind of stuttered a bit, I was about to say, building and finding that confidence in your own voice, that alignment in where the Empress, right, does embody the co-creative, the manifestation, the core of it from the heart. And for the Father of Cups, I so often, reflect upon being secure with ourselves and feeling again confident in terms of what we have to share, what we have to say from that more heart and soul aligned space. Building and feeling, developing and growing even into our own beings in terms of our approachability and our confidence to sort of weave through and flow through, let's just say, when you're in the position of, I don't want to say being put on the spot, but you are presenting yourself and or you are working toward manifesting and co-creating. There's this energy of self-trust that I'm really leaning on with the Father of Cups. So let's see how we can sort of work with that, develop these even more so. Tap into that Daughter of Wands energy. Yeah, trust your vision, okay? I feel like you've really developed yourself in these regards, Libra. And so with the Daughter of Wands, the new cycles, what is inspiring you moving forward, now that you have come this far and now that you are in such a space, feeling more comfortable and confident in, again, that more, for lack of a better word, the heart, the soul, the healer part of you, speaking and sharing from that part of you, what's inspiring you now, creatively opening up, stopping to smell the roses is sometimes how I refer to the Daughter of Wands. Okay, so let's kind of get some advice here, and how you can embrace these full moon energies and what is being accessed, activated, highlighted here. 3 of Cups, yeah. I feel like it's not just as simple as surrounding yourself in good company, but there's an integration of things. As we have the Empress, the Father of Cups, the Daughter of Wands. There's this very sort of, feminine, masculine, inner child dynamic, past, present, future, that I feel you may be accessing on a higher level. And how that translates with the 3 of Cups is that inner harmony, when you can really feel not, at peace and a sense of joy, a present sense of active joy, where past and future just melt away, and all that matters, all that you're present to, all that you're engaging is this here now moment. That's what we want to more draw our awareness and our attention to, those moments, those types of connections, those types of relationships and things, the simple pleasures and those shared soul group, soul family connections, where people really can work within, those layers of who we are. Not just kind of this aspect, or this aspect, but the totality of who we are, mind, body, and soul, all that stuff, right? So let's see now how we can create some relaxation, embrace a little bit of downtime strength. Okay, so slow and steady, integrating and seeing. Let me tune in here, Libra. There's something a little bit deeper in terms of having faith over the steps that you're taking, having faith, and remember what I said, confidence over what you're sharing and coming from the heart. Okay, there's going to be a time and a space, okay, Libra, for everything to come together. So trust in yourself, be here now, root and self-care, and also there's a lot about just kind of absorbing the nurturing, absorbing the goodness of those vibrations while all of the other stuff, you know, that you're holding space for is underway. So often with strength, I find it's sort of, you know, where we're kind of having a those primal forces and struggles that we're dealing with, and it's like, oh, it'd be so easy if I just XYZ, but I have to just stay strong and, you know, resilient wherever you're sort of having to be a bit more on point, or like I feel almost, you know, sometimes when we're trying to make certain changes or adjustments, that self-disciplinarian. So that's where it's kind of, you know, the urge to jump ahead of yourself, the urge to, where I said, anything that's beyond the present moment, past and future, just being here now. That's what I can see. It's just like, just embrace the moment and know that everything's going to fall into place. Okay, Libra? And so don't hesitate. Reach out, connect with us, girlinnermood.com, to book a personal session of your own, or and check out the other signs for your moon and rising, a bit of extra info. Okay, and so have a blessed one. Scorpio, Kapualani here with your girl and her moon full moon forecast glimpse for this month of April. Let's see what's up, Scorpio. All right, first up, the Hierophant, your big message and a bit more to the core of the full moon energies that are being highlighted for you, Scorpio. Trusting the higher voice, connecting with the higher voice. And I'm getting this aspect or this connection to, you know, the part of you, Scorpio, that very much has that sort of, I feel the sneaky and not in a negative sense, but then knowing there's always something beneath the surface. Like with the Scorpios, like there's always something beneath the surface. And that's what I'm present to here with the message of the Hierophant for you, Scorpio. It's about your knowing that things aren't always what they seem. And so where you might be feeling that little, you know, spirit nudge or higher self like tapping, don't hesitate to investigate is what I'm getting at, okay? So what are we potentially investigating? What are we potentially accessing? Okay. Simply trusting in the higher voice. And it's not just a component of, okay, yes, when I said what you see isn't always what you get, or what, you know, what you see isn't always, there's always more beneath the surface. I feel this, sorry, Spirit's playing a little game with me here, Scorpio. Maybe that's your energy, the little trickster. Hey, that's where you're going to be served, I feel, Scorpio, okay? People often don't know how to read you, and or they always kind of aren't sure of what your intentions are. Maybe you get accused of things that, like, you're totally innocent, you haven't done, but people are like, hey, what do you know? You're like, I don't know anything. But actually, it's like you don't, but you do. And you do, but you don't. And and so I just here for whatever reason, okay, in some circumstances, and you'll know when to exercise this, but there are some things that are just better left unsaid, and maybe it's just for now, you know, because there is a timing to things. And for you, Scorpio, that connection to the subconscious, the connection to, you know, just the mystery and all that kind of thing, I do get a sense that there's something to be said about trusting your intuition, but I mean it in a playful sense, okay? In the lighter sense, and not so much, you know, like there's going to be times when you will pick up on things. You're like, oh, okay, there's something more there than what it seems, right? And then and you can, what I'm trying to say, Scorpio, sorry, is you can pick and choose you know, what works for you. But for what it's worth, okay, that's where the energy is, that this Four of Swords with the relax and just sort of allow and that sort of thing are coming into play, and let things reveal themselves. You don't always have to go and figure it out. So what you might be connecting with, revisiting a way to integrate and embody these two energies, the Hierophant, the Four of Swords, of course, the Mother of Cups. There you are, your natural inclination. That connection to your element, Scorpio. Trust your intuition, trust your instincts, draw those boundaries where necessary. But just remember, it's just because you may have your intentions and reasons, like I was saying earlier, you know, but you don't know, but you do know, but you don't know. It's one of those things where you know, you might get a vibe on someone that maybe they're up to no good, right? But it doesn't mean you have to let them know that you know that they're up to no good, or you think they're up to no good, even if like they're really making it obvious and whatever the case may be. This just means know your limits, draw your boundaries, and you know, in that case, again, trust your instincts. Okay, so something that's coming into manifestation and maybe a little bit of guiding advice to work with these full moon influences, Daughter of Pentacles. Yep, step by step. Just take it step by step. Stay out of it, actually, is what I'm hearing big time. Just because you know certain things, stay out of it. These energies of innocence and boundary protection, because the Mother of Cups, that water, I think of the more of the, you know, how with the water and the feminine, it's like the protection of the family, and very much, you know, going to step in and intervene where they see some kind of wrong or that sort of thing. I'm not saying to not speak up or anything, but what I am saying is where something definitely doesn't involve you, use your senses, trust your senses, play innocent. You know, like I said, I feel like it might be, if there's something, if there's a vibe that seems, like I said, you know, like there's something going on that isn't all of what it seems, Scorpio, trust your senses, but play innocent about it. Don't give it away that you're like suspecting something, okay? And it could be a good thing. Like, what if somebody wanted to give you a surprise and, you know, you kind of, you know, you ruin it by telling them, or you, like, it can be that easy and innocent. That's all I'm saying. Does it have to be dark and stormy or freaky? So, that being said, what can we embrace? Oh my goodness, what your soul is just kind of, what's going to support your soul and whatnot. Son of Swords. Okay. Where it suits you, where you are definitely clear, that's all I'm going to say, clear, concise, to the point, just speak up, call it out. Say it like it is. That's all. You have a way, though, Scorpio. There's a way about saying, right? It's not what you say, but how you say it. And so I do get a feeling that that tail of yours, that steer, might be out and ready to strike. So that's where it's like, all right, maybe you can't just pretend so much. Maybe something has to be said at some point, or something has to be done. So if there is a situation, okay, that does call for action of some sort, or for you to say something, to address something, to call something out, Scorpio, just that's where it's those mindful pauses, trust your instincts. And if there is a space where it's like, oh, a little intervention or something like that, you know, like if you see that somebody's going to, you know, make a little bit of a mistake, that's obviously, it's like, don't hesitate. And so that, I feel like maybe that's where those also tones of innocence comes in, where I almost want to say, you know, sometimes we don't intervene because, or we don't get ourselves involved just for the sake of, like, you know, just not wanting to kind of have that sort of drama or that blowback or just whatever the consequences, because, you know, some of those sayings about you do good and you just get punished or something, don't want to go there. But the whole point is, in this case, where it's something that you definitely is very clear, and I feel like it's going to be something easy, though. It's like wherever you can save yourself the trouble, like where they say, like, nip it in the bud, stitch in time, save nine. That's how I'm going to put it. We're going to leave it at that, Scorpio. There's just so much loaded stuff here for you. But anyway, Check in with us, girlonamoon.com. Book a session. You know where to find us. Look at the other signs for your moon and rising insights. A little bit of deeper info here. But have a blessed one. Hey, Sag. Whoops. Slipping all over the place here. Anyway, Kapualani with Girl on Her Moon here. Sorry about that. With your look at this month of April's full moon forecast. Let's see what's up. Okay, Sag, first up, Father of Cups. Okay, this should be a really nice, I feel, you know, okay, I have to kind of backpedal, forgive me, Sag. Use your voice and don't hesitate to really come from the heart and speak from, you know, your soul. There are some things, and it may not even come down to communication or speaking, but in terms of aligning your actions and, you know, when we wonder or we question what's our inspiration or what's motivating us at this time, this will be a period of, you know, I feel when we go through certain periods, you know, we kind of like self-check or whatnot. Your intentions moving forward, I feel you're going to be a lot more inclined to move forward from the heart. You're going to be a lot more inclined to see things from that, you know, that perspective. Are the actions that I'm taking aligned with me on a soulful level? Are the people that are around me and that sort of thing? And, you know, I just feel this, even though it's the Father of Cups and we think of a more external, outward way of giving and presenting and the healer energy that the Father of Cups presents, I feel that there's a level of you seeing this in yourself. And you might be even surprised a little bit, you know, Sag, in terms of like, it's not that you aren't a giver and it's not that you wouldn't necessarily see yourself this way, but I think it's more of just that more from the evolved space, from the space that, wow, I really can just sort of take it in and relax and breathe and not have to feel like, you know, go, or, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. So let's get to the underbelly. Let's get to the deeper layers on the surface and why. Yeah, the gentleness. Where's this coming from? The Daughter of Cups, the inner child. And that's what I was feeling, you know. There's something that's really speaking to the nurturer and the provider aspect, and in terms of how we're giving ourselves here, of ourselves rather, Sag. And so your inner child, I feel like that might be part of it, is just like a full circle perspective in terms of your own personal growth, and maybe where there's some, you know, a little bit of wobble. It's just that self-check where we, you know, like I was saying earlier, checking back in and saying, wow, you know, I've really grown and I've really evolved and I've really matured in so many different ways, and yet, like, you know, am I the same person? Like, yes, but also excuse me, woo, there is that clearing, and I was speaking on the voice part. So the connection, and I feel that wherever there might be some hesitation, Sag, it's just about being mindful that you don't lose sight of that inner child, you know, and those needs of your own. So that being said, how can we honor it? Ace of Wands, moving forward with a sense of passion, with a sense of excitement, with a sense of that really aligns with you, Sag, that fire, you know, and the creativity and the excitement. Again, I think I said that, forgive me, but there's something that you have to say, to create, to embody, something that really does connect and celebrate the inner child, and or just that, you know, the purity of what that soul alignment, and or just children, you know what I mean? And that kind of says in terms of having a sense of childlike wonder and engaging our innocence, and not losing sight of that again. So, okay, let's get some advice for you. Let's see what's getting ready to manifest, and so forth. Oh my goodness. Yep. Mother of Cups. There's that balance. And I do this because symbolically, I know they're not positioned in that way, but you think of how the swans, when they get together and they're, they're neck and neck, and it creates a sort of heart energy. So there is this alignment that is developing, and with it, mindful of the boundaries, like I was saying. Just as much as you are being perceived and you are seen as a giver, as a healer, people love being around you and so forth. It's like you need to recharge and honor your time for you, honor your energy, your life force, your needs. And that's where the Mother of Cups says, hey, you're a giver, but guess what? You have needs too. And so that's where you have to say, no. And then the Mother of Cups is all about, see how that wing is like, hold on, boundaries, those types of boundaries, where it's like, I got to keep my space clear here, because it's the water, and we want to have that inner child connection and that inner child knowing vibrant and aligned, right? So how can we have that? Look at this, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. Yep. Trust yourself. Don't the boundaries, resolving conflict energies, that sharp as a sword. Like I said, just think of the wing, like just follow your creative passions, but know your limits and boundaries, and also create them with others accordingly. Okay, don't hesitate. The Ace of Swords, also these activations of consciousness, I feel, and clarity of where all of the motivation, where some of your the feeling energies are coming from. And so there may be an opportunity here for you, Sagittarius, to possibly even think about some new projects, new directions, and executing some things that might have been on the back burner, but it's like, we kind of have to live through a certain experience before we can be in the position to speak on it. So that's what I really see, for you, Sag. I hope it resonates. Visit with us, girlundermoon.com, and see if there is a reading or some guidance that you would like to check out yourself, so you can have your own session. And otherwise, don't hesitate. Look at also the moon and rising, your moon and rising signs, for a bit of extra insight. So take care. Hi, Capricorn. This is Kapualani here with your girl and her moon. Full moon. Look, this month of April. Okay, Capricorn, let's see what is coming up. First and foremost, 8 of Wands. Okay, this isn't so bad. I feel like for you, Capricorn, this overall message that I'm feeling from the universe for you, it's an energy of rejuvenation. It's an energy of regeneration. 8 of Wands is such an active card that I feel like wherever you've been feeling low energy or stagnated, this full moon should really give you a little bit of that punch or that zest, that pick me up again, where if you may have felt slowed down or, like I said, sluggish in any which way. I feel like I really want to put an emphasis on health matters. I'm paying attention to the practicality of the wands here with the nature of the 8 of Wands, and how the fire element relates to life force and energy. And again, with this being very active, while I said you may get kind of that burst of energy, you may be feeling like, finally, I also want you to be mindful of when you are out there moving and shaking, that you don't kind of overdo it, okay? That's all. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And so that being said, let's see the underbelly, what's going to be coming up, being brought to surface. Yep, health and well-being, Mother of Cups. like I said, that water elements. I know it's emotion, but it's also flow and clarity. And you know, if your well hath runneth dry, so even though you might be feeling all that spark of like, yeah, I can get up and go finally, don't remember fizzle out. So this connection here also with the, excuse me, I'm just feeling like the circulation of energy here with the Eight of Wands, and then with the Mother of Cups, the flow. This is where I gotta keep it simple, and they're telling me it's just about minding your own health boundaries and limits so that you're not overdoing it. That's literally all, because you might feeling again just revved up, excited, and wanting to go out and do more, but it's just like saying, just be mindful what your like health needs are more than anything, wellness, well-being, and check back in that space. Okay, so how can we, yep, there it is. How can I was going to say, how can we honor these energies and work with them, and you know what we might need to revisit here with the 10 of Wands. Slow and steady, slow and steady. Close out. I know. It feels like the new cycles are already here and you're ready to jump through, but that doesn't mean that we can just drop what we were doing. You know, there's a place for that. Even though I know it looks like it's done, like you took the trash out of the thing, you know, the receptacle, I guess it is, and you put it by the door, but you didn't take it fully out to the curb, or, you know what I mean? That whole don't forget that there's still those, you know, we want to close the door and we want to lock it up before we leave, so that when we get back, it's, you know, like if even if it was just out in a cabin, like a bear doesn't kind of bust in or whatever. You know, there's something here about taking that time to slow down. Okay, advice, yeah, transitions, transformations, taking it's allowing nature to take its course is what I'm going to say. We so often ignore the breakdown process, the deconstruction process, this death process. It's very, very sacred. And so that's where sacred rests. Just because you think you're ready to bounce back doesn't mean, right? Like even when they take the cast off, like, hey, we're taking the cast off, but you still need to take it easy for X amount of weeks, days, whatever the case may be, right? Let yourself complete whatever needs to be completed so that it can really be put to rest once and for all. And you can really and fully make use of the recharge, make use of the turning of the tides. Things are going to let things work for you, okay? Don't try to kind of, you know, go ahead of yourself in this case. So let's see what you can do to work with just leaning back, relaxing, taking it all in the world. Yeah, there's a bigger perspective here. The future, the hopes, the dreams, the goals, the manifestations that you're wanting to embody and take part in, it's not going anywhere, okay? It's not going anywhere. So just know there's a time and space for everything. But for us to get there, we have to allow for those old cycles, like the winter, you know? Ain't nothing gonna be blooming while the snow is out there freezing everything up. So just let yourself honor those natural cycles. Let yourself also look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture, not just that shot in the dark where it's that bright idea. You know what I mean? You want to give the fire, when we get that fire started from that spark, it's just not, oh, we got a spark, you just let it go and then suddenly you got a raging bonfire. No, you got to build it. You know, you want to take time with it so that, what, again, we're not burning it out. So that's where Capricorn, that sense of consistency and letting yourself, I just keep hearing it, kick back, relax, take it in, let yourself, you know, slowly but surely integrate all of the brilliant ideas, all of the brilliant energy and the good stuff that you're starting to channel and or connect with, okay? And so that being said, if you want to take a deeper look, check us out, girlundermoon.com. Otherwise, take a peek at the other signs for your moon and rising. You know, whatever your moon and rising signs are, go ahead, check it out. Again, a little bit of extension on the full moon read here, but have a good one. Aquarius, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon full moon look, your forecast for this month of April. So let's see what's in store. Okay. Opening message from the universe, Aquarius. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Whew, give your mind a break. Put your mind at ease. Where have you been just running those circuits ragged, baby? Okay. This full moon, you might be feeling the pressure. Okay. Then I feel like it could even be like what is it called? The barometric? Oh my gosh. But just the actual like pressure gauges in the weather. Be mindful and pardon the wobble, but I can feel that for you. Look at just the swords, the air. For you, Aquarius, my goodness, you need rest, okay? You need a reset with this 10 of Swords. Much of what you may be experiencing, how you might be perceiving, just realize it's likely going to be under the guise of a lot of pressure from this full moon. And I actually mean that on like a literal level, in terms of how the full moon, the tides and things, and the pressure from the gravitational pull do affect us. So that's where I would love for you to just be kind with yourself, okay, babe? And if and where you might be having any potential self-sabotaging or self-destructive or just unkind thoughts, or things like that, take a breath, take a pause, and maybe a little bit of EFT tapping and things to unwind and gain clarity. Just gain clarity. Maybe a good massage, something like that would be great. So that being said, with that 10 of Swords, what's kind of that underbelly? Where's that motivation coming from? Daughter of Wands. Okay. There are some definite, I feel this is something I feel connecting to health really, and just the sensitivities to the, again, just perhaps the actual lunar cycle, the actual full moon, and again, the gravity and all that sort of stuff, and the tides, and how it affects our bodies, because this is the energy level of things, okay? There may be some new cycles, I feel almost like you're just ready for something easy, something light, something that's going to help you to, again, blow off some steam, be gentle with yourself. I don't necessarily feel that there are demands around you, even though it may seem that way, Aquarius. I want you to be fair with yourself, okay? Even if it's like just a day on your weekend day off, or whatever the case may be, to do something for yourself that's gonna help to relieve any of that pressure, any of that stress. Because I feel like a lot of where this is coming with this Daughter of Wands, feeling vulnerable. I feel like how if there's a baby, an actual baby serpent, baby snake, and how just the fragility, and but the sensitivity to energy, and still needing something of a buffer. So just remove yourself from toxic energies, or just too much distraction, or even if my voice is too much for you, turn the volume down, okay? Seriously. What you might need to revisit, something that may sort of support and look a little bit deeper into these energies. High Priestess, yeah, you have a knowing, and there's going to be a feeling and an awareness inside of you, Aquarius, that knows what you're dealing with, what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, it too will pass, essentially, is the overall message and tone that I'm present to with this High Priestess. And so part of it, again, is trust your instincts. I feel that these cards feel so natural to your vibrations, your nature, Aquarius, and that with the High Priestess especially, sometimes they think of, the ice, the ice queen, or that sort of where you're just very detached and cold, and but not as a negative, okay? It's to be fair and discerning, to be a satellite to divine guidance and alignment, okay, to what your specific opportunities are, to what your specific messages are. And so that's where, again, I feel like that need for a buffer, that need to remove yourself from distraction. And that's what the High Priestess does. It's removing herself from those distractions. Okay. So let's see how we can create a little bit more of a buffer and a cushion, a little bit of things to smoothen out the irons. Goodness, thank you. Ace of Cups. Yes, connect to the heart, connect to the soul. I feel like even on a literalness, taking a nice like soak, a nice bath, whether, you know, if it's a salt bath, awesome, something very much that's going to be healing, okay? Not just cleansing and purifying, but something that will be soothing. And like I said, with the whole massage concept, because I think of, you know, spa vibes almost with this Ace of Cups. So whatever that sort of aligns for you, because maybe if you're like, yeah, I don't want anybody touching me, I get it. So anything for you, okay, Aquarius, that's just going to restore you in terms of the water element. So connecting to the soul, connecting to things that are going, just foods, good foods, soothing foods. I did, you know, I was kind of like present to that. Things that are going to be soothing to the senses, gentle to the senses, okay? All right, and now let's bring it home. Closing message, Father of Wands. There we go. Yeah, things are just at the beginning, okay? Like not even, it's like endings and beginnings in so many ways. And I know that you get that, Aquarius. So, you know, please just like trust that. Again, forgive me. This sounds like, if it sounds so basic or whatever, but you have this knowing, you will have this knowing. There's a part of you that kind of, I feel like it's, yes, maybe it is partly that psychic connection to things, but it's just also the knowingness that this is going to pass, that you will cycle through this, that this is just yet another moment, and it's gonna, and you know, like any up and down type thing, you get through it, you know, that kind of thing. So it's not just, oh yeah, look on the brighter side, but there's a space here with the Father of Wands that says, okay, let's try to put that air, any of that sort of, whether it's kind of, it feels like bottled up here with this 10 of Swords, like I said, pressure. And so where can we burn it off? Where can we channel that air? And I feel like the physical movement of things, so something that's going to be allowing you to kind of get out of your head, and not necessarily, oh yeah, I'm going to be into my heart or something, but like we do that, we access that by like going for a meditative walk, by going running, by, for some people, if it's painting, some sort of creative, expressive channel. So whether it's a physical movement of getting your actual circulate, you know, your body, that sort of thing, because I think of the chi and the prana here with the fire, and that Father of Wands of, okay, let's make this happen, let's just do this, I'm going to take responsibility for myself and make something happen here, you know. Or if it's like the creative part again, where it's like, okay, I got to get out of this space and channel that somehow, okay. So if you are open to and wanting some deeper support at all, Aquarius, don't hesitate. Check us out, girlinnermoon.com. And also I invite you to take a peek at the other signs, whatever your moon and rising signs are. Go ahead and visit with those readings as well for some extra insight, and have a blessed one. Well, hi there, Pisces. This is Kapualani. And we're here with your, if I can get these cards together, my goodness. We're here with your April full moon forecast. So let's take a look. Okay, Pisces. Opening message from the universe, Father of Swords. You've got this. Well, another thing that I'm actually hearing is, for whatever reason, where you may be called or inclined to, I don't know, take a stand up for yourself, stand tall, be proud of yourself, where you haven't allowed yourself a space to, I just feel like, take control, take command, take charge. This full moon will be very encouraging for you to really gain that sense of, independence and confidence, in terms of executing not just like plans and ideas, but I really feel it's like from the inside out how you see yourself, and in fairness, and like, I get so much of just your frequency, Pisces, and I love this Father of Swords energy coming up for you, because it is very commanding. It feels like the words, that I'm looking at is definitive in terms of making decisions. So, perhaps it also is playing a little bit on if and where you have felt like indecisive or unsure of a certain direction or an outcome, how things were going to go. I feel like this full moon will be very much building confidence. Okay. All right. So the underbelly, and to sort of, let's say, highlight that, what's getting brought to your awareness, the Emperor. Okay, so lessons learned here, Pisces, that maybe in pausing and taking a moment to breathe and consider before taking action, it really can and does serve you well. Okay? Not really overreacting, and not, I don't want to say overreacting, but rather, when we say responding, when we sort of allow ourselves to observe and contemplate and take action from there, rather than, oh my gosh, see and react, right? So these energies, the Father of Swords, the Emperor, these masculine aspects, it's really interesting, because generally, when we think of the feminine and the masculine, these aspects of masculine is how we project ourselves and how we project our authority and our energy and so forth. And in these cases, I definitely feel growth and fortitude, and like a learning and a personal evolution in seeing your own abilities, and where you can really take charge and effective action, really, instead of kind of like trying to do too many things at one time, really channeling and harnessing yourself, well, and seeing the results and feeling that growth, feeling that shift, more importantly. Okay, so let's see how we can, oh my gosh, embrace and work with these energies. The Mother of Swords, look at that, look back, look at this. Detach, detach. I know, like in the past, right, Pisces are like, for Pisces to detach, but here's the thing, you can do that. That's what makes Pisceans so unpredictable, I feel, and so capable, is that they are very, very feeling, very, very sensitive. And you know what, just because you can feel all of these things and have compassion for all these things doesn't mean I'm going to cut off my arm and my leg just to suit your needs. Man, I need that. So that's where it's like the air of patience, of limits, of boundaries, and also where I look at the Mother of Swords, it's that reflection, a higher vantage point and a reflection over the growth, over the knowledge and the wisdom that you have embodied, that you have engaged, that you have developed. And I feel like these connections with these two being birds, right, and them both reflecting the air, the intelligence. Pisceans have such engineering intelligence, and they live in this tree. So it's like, how comfortable are you living in your own mind, and how sturdy you feel, how secure you're feeling, and the ability to really trust and have confidence in your values, your plans, your beliefs, your goals, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's see how Spirit's guiding you, the universe is guiding you to maybe integrate, relax, and experience a smoother full moon. Yeah. While we are reflecting and looking back at the details. It's saying don't linger there too long. And remember, we still have a beautiful, bright future, and not just one, but there are many possibilities that are ahead of us. There's still opportunities to experience. You don't have to stay disconnected and detached forever, and you shouldn't. There's a space for that. There's a space where it's practical and it's mindful and so forth. And then there's a space where, again, you are a Pisces. Water is your natural element, so you're gonna feel your feels anyway. Even if you say, no, I don't feel anything, no, I'm past it, you're still gonna be feeling and dealing, baby. that's gonna be I gotta put that down. You're feeling and dealing. Still gonna be there. So just remember, okay, even though there might be situations where you may be feeling like, okay, I'm gonna have to sort of either stand your ground and or maintain and sustain, remove yourself from certain situations, it doesn't mean that it's going to be that way forever. So don't be too hard on yourself, and don't linger too long, all right, in any feelings of disappointment or letdown. So that being said, let's bring it on home. See, there we go. You're back at it again. Look at that. I love this. Sorry. Look at you, Pisces. Okay, the Chariot. What sort of downtime? How can we bring these energies home? Yeah, hit the ground running. Focus on the here and now. Look at the excellence and the capable being that you are. I think of this Chariot energy because of the movement, like with your Piscean nature, that ability to just glide through the water in so many ways. And you're right, you're right not to linger in energies or spaces or areas that are stagnated and that are no longer in service to the highest greatest good. It's not about necessarily, like I said, forget it, I'm not, like, we're just gonna move on, but it's about letting yourself recover, letting yourself not necessarily rush the process. Yes, maybe we do have to remove ourselves, so that might be a little bit, it may seem a little bit like a bigger step, but ultimately where you take those steps from there, that's where you're really being encouraged to trust that you can and will hit the ground running, and you will rebuild yourself. So it's just about honoring your needs and where you're at from the ground up. Here, and I say that so often, things from the ground up, but that's how, that's the best, most practical way of looking at it. And so the sun's going to come up again, that space to where things will make sense, and that ability to feel like you can pick up on your stride again. I feel like if and where you're feeling stuck and or unmotivated, Pisces, just simply getting moving, and moving your body, and just kind of that circulation to get things going, circulating the energy will also help, because remember that it also is the influence of the full moon. Okay, so don't hesitate, reach out. We're here for you, girlundermoon.com. And also take a look, see what's in store, what's going on with your moon and rising signs for some extra support, some extra insight. Till next time, take care.